hold your horse. Hey, wait a minute. Overnight, the Apple elves up there in the Cupertino workshop dropped some brand new iPads onto the website. Let's talk about them. Hey there, friends on YouTube. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech, so honest. Hurts. If this is your first time here, thanks so much for stopping by. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. Let's talk about what we got going on here. Apple, in their infinite wisdom, had pulled a fast one on us, and overnight they pulled down their website, and that sounds weird. They took their website down. They put up two new iPads, two new iPad designs, they're not new, like redesigned iPads that have better specs in them. We're going to cover it all. So let's get going. There had been much speculation about whether there would be, in fact, new iPads at the March 25th event that's coming up next week. I'm pretty sure. But that event looks to be mainly focused on Apple's new video streaming service, so that doesn't leave a lot of room for new iPads or any other kind of hardware, and usually there's not hardware at this March event. Well, so Apple's little elves took the website down last night and worked all night in the workshop to bring us up some new products, and when it came back online, well, what did we see? But not one, but two new iPads, a 10.5-inch model called the iPad Air. That's basically the 2017 iPad Pro model with upgraded internals, and a new iPad Mini, which basically is the same thing as the 7.9-inch model they've been selling for years, but now with more modern and appropriate specs for the price as well. The 10.5-inch model sports Touch ID instead of Face ID, Retina display, has the A12 Bionic chip in there, and it also supports the first generation Apple Pencil. It's available in 64 and 256 gigabyte capacities, as I accidentally wrote right there in the script. The iPad Mini shares the same internal specs. It also has the first generation Pencil support. It also has Touch ID and 7.9-inch Retina display. Both models are basically the same bodies that we saw with the lightning ports and all that kind of stuff, instead of the USB-C that the Pro models have, and they retain the headphone jack. They retain that jack that was lost when the new iPad Pro design was conceived. They still have them huge bezels of the previous models, and they lack the 120 Hz Pro Motion display of the higher end models, but the pricing is what really sets them apart from those aforementioned Pro models. The 10.5-inch model starts at $499 for 64 gigabytes and goes up to $649 for 256 gigabytes of storage, and the Mini starts at $399 going up to $549 for 256. Oh, it's so exciting. The iPad Air, it's compatible with the 10.5-inch smart keyboard that I guess is the one that was out last year for the 10.5-inch Pro, and the new Mini is only compatible with Bluetooth keyboards, but that means you can buy whatever keyboard that you want and use it with your Mini. In the overall grand scheme of things, what the heck does any of this mean? Well, suddenly Apple has an entire lineup of iPads, 4 different models, all powerful enough to rival mid-range laptops, and a price that's much more consumer-friendly than, say, the iPad Pro line. And they are definitely more affordable than even the lowest end of the Apple laptop world. Combine that with iOS 13 coming later this year, and the potential that has for bringing more Mac apps to the iOS world and more iOS apps to the Mac OS world, and Apple could be setting up their product line where there's an iPad for everyone that could potentially replace their computer for basic computing or work as a very slick companion for their desktop setup or even a more powerful MacBook setup. It's possible that Apple is giving us a glimpse into their product strategy for the next 5 to 10 years, and I have to admit, if that's the way they're going, particularly as they get ready to launch their new video service, which is rumored to be free for Apple users, at least in the beginning, everything points to that being the focus of their event on March 25th. Apple has just tightened up some space in their ecosystem and made the iPad line much more compelling and price-friendly for more people. For those of us who have complained about the $1,000 plus phones that they've been releasing and the ever-increasing prices of other Apple products, Apple has once again come into March and brought us iPads that will make sense for a lot more people than a lot of their other products. I had a comment on one of my last videos from a retiree and longtime Apple customer who was frustrated that Apple had basically priced people on a fixed income out of their product line. Well, I'm not going to say that Apple is doing this for any kind of altruistic reasons. They are not doing it for those reasons. They want to sell more iPads, but their strategy for the future is probably a little bit more clear after we see these new iPads, and hopefully that will take the pinch off of some of those longtime customers who want to still be in the Apple ecosystem. What do you think? Interested in any of these new iPads? Do they fill a gap that the iPad line had? I mean, now we've got 4 different models of iPads that really sort of run the gamut between professional and all the way down to entry level. So there's an iPad basically for everyone as long as you can get up to the $329 entry price for the iPad that was released last year in 2018. I'm actually pretty glad to see that Apple has done this. I think that it's a good thing. I think that the iPad is going to become the everyone machine, the every person machine that Apple probably always intended for it to be. I do think that this means that they're moving closer to the iPad being a computing device. You may feel differently, so why don't you tell me so down in the comments below. Once again, thanks so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. If this was your first time here and you want to come on back again, well, then you can go ahead and like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And here's some pictographic representations of how you might do that. And if you've been here before, thanks so much again for coming back. I really do appreciate it, and I really am loving the community that we've built here on the Painfully Honest Tech channel. # Wizard Squad. Again, my name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out. Hey, you're still here and you haven't left yet, and maybe you want to watch another video. There are a couple of videos here that I suggest that maybe you want to check out. Also, hit me on the social medias over there, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for being here.